What's going on? I'm back. I want to talk about Portland, Oregon a little bit. Been kind of wondering what I want to talk about. It's not really a whole lot to talk about. I will, however, say I've been here for the week getting some work done, and I've been getting it done. I love it. The park I'm staying at is the Columbia River RV Park. I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it any higher. These guys are wonderful. It's probably the nicest park I've stayed at, and I really don't make an effort to stay in a lot of RV parks because there's so many cool places to stay that they really don't cost any money. Places most people wouldn't even know. You drive past it and they don't even think to look for RVs or people living in their own self-built RV vans. Some pretty technology has allowed us to stay in some pretty cool places, and I love it. As for Portland, I'll tell you what, Oregon itself is a beautiful state. There's a lot of beauty. You go up to Astoria and a lot of other places around Mount Hood, and you go to Eugene and various other places. It's just, in the outskirts of the city of Portland is where a lot of the cool things to do are, and a lot of the beauty is. I mean, from Portland down to Washington State on 84, I'm going to tell you, it's probably one of the most beautiful drives that you will ever drive. And if I getting tongue-tied here, sorry, but if you want to take a drive and you're venturing towards Portland, Oregon, the drive up 84 is absolutely beautiful in the Columbia River. I did actually a video where I stayed, I don't know when I'll put that out, but I stayed at a Army Corps of Engineers site there, and it was so beautiful. It was so cool, peaceful. Didn't cost a dime. It's free of charge, and everybody that stays there is just kept their distance, their own space, and were just as nice as they could be. You couldn't have asked for anything better. And that's the kind of places that I like to stay, just where everybody is cool with each other, not, giving each other problems. Now, I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. I had a guy kind of, with me and another guy behind me, kind of get rude and short in a parking lot in Goodland, Kansas, because he didn't like their generators running. But, if you don't like it, move. That's a big parking lot at Walmart. Move if you don't like it. And he did. So it happens. But moving back to Portland, here, I will say that I would stay here at Columbia River RV Park again. I love it. If I had to stay here for an extended period of time, I could live here. They told me what the cost would be on a monthly rate. It's cheaper than it is where I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I thought that was amazing. A lot of people, I see so many people living in RVs here, and I don't blame them. The taxes are through the roof. It's crazy. But you try to find things to do in Portland, and as there are things, these food carts, and there are things to see. The food carts are amazing, but there's some parts of the city you can't. In lieu of what's going on in the news, this crap, this Antifa garbage, you can't go downtown. The media won't tell you what's really going on when it comes to these guys terrorizing people that can't even get to these businesses downtown. Businesses are struggling. These food carts that are right there downtown where these guys are at are having a hard time. It's just not good. The media doesn't want to tell you that it's become a big problem, and there's food carts all over Portland. You go to other areas and it's fine, it's nice. There's some nice areas to Portland. I'm not going to dispute that. It really is. It's just so expensive to live here, and I think the biggest problem Portland has right now is their homelessness and their drug problem. It's bad. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen it with my own eyes. People who have never been here are going to say, oh, it's not that bad. It's bad. It may not be as bad as San Francisco and other parts of Los Angeles, but it's bad. It ranks. And I'm seeing it, and it's bad. I kid you not, I was walking down the sidewalk, and you see drug needles on the sidewalk. It's so bad. You see people living in their cars on the side of the road and RVs, and I'll give Portland credit to let people park their RVs and live in them, and they're tolerant to that, and they have bike lanes everywhere. That's cool. The problem is there's so much trash. They're sitting there, and there's just garbage everywhere, and the city does nothing about it. There are some people you may see walking around on their own time picking it up, but it's the city itself just does nothing about it. You're going on an on-ramp through the interstate, and you look up the hill, and there's a tent, garbage and trash all down the hill. It's all through, and it's just, if you go to downtown Los Angeles, it smells like death. It's so bad. There's tents everywhere. I don't know why these businesses put up with it there. It's so bad. People just living on the streets, it just smells horrible. I mean, I don't even want to know how many people they find dead off in there on a daily basis. And probably here in the city of Portland. And I've seen it with my own eyes in these places. I mean, you can't argue with me and tell me that I'm wrong, because I'm not. It's bad. But, if you want to see things in Portland, all I can say is you got to be careful. You got to be very careful. This last weekend, I went out of town to Salem to Tiny Fest Northwest. And I caught up with my buddy Jared Tachi, man. I'll post a link to his channel down below. He did an amazing job building out his second van. He calls it Ghost 2. Ghost 1 was his first van. This guy lives stealth in his van on the streets of Los Angeles all over, and no one ever knew. And he never had one problem. I don't know how he did it. I really don't, but I think it was amazing. And this new one that he's built is just unbelievable. How he's done it. The technology in it and the comforts are just mind-blowing. You got to check that out. He's going to be posting a lot of videos to come on how he did it, and it's amazing, and I highly recommend that. I'll put that down below. But back to what I was talking about, I was down there at a festival, so I stayed away from what happened this last weekend, all these riots. And I had the other day a conversation after that with a Portland police officer in Starbucks, just right up the road here. And I was like, I just kind of joking, laughing. He'd caught my accent, asking where I was from, and he'd actually lived in South Carolina, up in Columbia, and was in the military there. And he said, yeah, it's quieted down, but it's still bad. He said they had to rescue some people out of that mess that came into town, didn't know what they were coming into. It was bad. And I can just tell you, if you're going to come to Portland, just be careful and try to avoid all that. It's sad that you can't even walk down there, and granted, don't get me wrong, if you go down there and you start staring at them or gawking at them or walk up the middle of it and running your mouth or anything, I mean, you're asking for trouble. Yeah, you're probably going to get jumped. That's with anything. But I talked to some guys, man, that minding their own business, and that happened. I mean, they're the city just won't do anything about them. They're sitting there, tying up traffic, terrorizing people and threatening them and assaulting them, holding up people's lives, and that's just, you can't do that. It's not cool. It's not right, and it's not fair to the people of this city or anywhere in this country for that matter. So just telling you, if you come here, just be careful. Right now it's not good, but it's not all of Portland. I just think my visit was a little bit less than stellar. It wasn't really all that great, but my point to come here this week anyway was to sit here and get some work done, and I got a lot of that done anyway, so good to know I did that. But anyway, I leave here this week and I go see my sister for a little while, so I'll be there outside of Spokane, Washington for a little bit. And if you've ever been to Spokane, Washington, I've said before, go to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. You're 20 minutes outside of Spokane. It's just a quick drive. That place is beautiful, and I recommend it highly. I really do. But anyway, I spend most of my time writing music for film and TV. I've said it before, and I love doing it. I can work while I'm on the road, and I love doing it. And it's kind of what I'm doing now, getting it done. I'm right now trying to get a lot of cues done for a new publisher that I'm working to sign on with, and trying to finish my year out with these other guys. And at some point, I want to do a new record album, and it's been hard. I've been aching and chomping at the bit to do a new album, and I'm going to do it. It's probably going to be next year before it comes out, if I even get started on it, but I want to do it. I really do. I've gotten into listening to a lot of groups like Explosions in the Sky, L1011. I've been listening to these guys for the last few years, and it's a lot of post-rock ambient stuff that I've loved. In fact, I've always loved this stuff, man, and I didn't realize it until I started listening to these guys, that's really the music I've always wanted to do. Anybody's listening to my music, and there'll be links below, is that a lot of my music is guitar instrumental, and I've always been a huge fan of Joe Satriani. Still am. The guy's my biggest influence as a guitar player. But my mind is not on a million different notes and fast solos. It's all about the music, man, the melody. And I've always loved that. It's always been me. So as much as I tried to be this vicious guitar player, I've concentrated more on the music more so than as a style of a player. I've molded my style as a player years ago. And my style as a player varies, man. I'm a rock player, but I played a lot of types of stuff, and I can evolve pretty well. But you know, I just always wanted to be me, not someone else. I found so many guitar players over the years and musicians trying to copy and be someone else and like someone else, and there's nothing better in the world than being yourself. So that's what I'm concentrating on right now. So I should be at my sister's for a week and a half, and I think I'm going to go venture through Salt Lake City a few days. And then I've got a buddy of mine in Las Vegas, and I've got my production music conference this year on September 22nd. I'll be in Los Angeles. So that week is going to be tied up with the conference, and there'll be videos to come with that for sure. Looking forward to that. It'll be my 3rd year. That alone is setting my music career into motion. It's one of the biggest things that have helped me, and it's just tremendous. Not to mention a lot of people I've connected with here lately. And I'll talk about that more to come too. I've got a lot of stuff going on with a mastermind group with composers. In fact, one of these guys, he's the music supervisor for Comedy Central, and he's into a lot of other things. And I'm in a group with him and several others, so a lot of good things coming out of that. So we'll talk more about that when I can later. So anyway, I'm out, and I was going to do a video. I actually did one where I felt like it was just too negative about Portland. I didn't want to go into posting something that was all negative, like I was just miserable, because I'm not. I'm having a great time. It's a big concern with Portland. Portland can do better than that. This city needs to clean it up. They really do. But they're not the only ones. You know, there are other cities in this country that need to clean it up. And it really is sad. And hopefully these things will get better. I don't know. It doesn't look like it is. If things don't start changing, it's going to get worse. You know, our drug problem in this country is bad. And I've seen a lot of it this week. The product of it is bad. So anyway, enough of that. I'm going to be talking more about my music and a lot of other things to come later. Until then, I'm out. Peace.